All right, all right, all right. This is Clear Waters. Tonight, we're gonna be asking an important question. We're gonna be asking an important question. Which of these gods is real? And I would like your participation. Maybe we can make a poll to find out which of these gods is real. This is gonna be interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna check my live stream, make sure that it's up and running. Like always, I gotta do this check because I don't trust myself when it comes to live streaming. I've made a lot of mistakes. So I'm just gonna check. Up, there it is. And also I'm going to check on the audio, make sure that it's up and running. Good. So I'm just gonna check. That's perfect. And also I'm going to check on the audio. I'm gonna check on this live stream to see if I can put a poll, which I think I can. Let's find out here for a moment. If I can put a poll, because I want to know what you think. Which one is the real God? Where do you add a poll? Oh, here. Oh, I can add a poll here. Yes, create a poll. Oh, nice. Ask a question. Which God is real? God of the Bible, Allah, or I'm making a poll right now because I want to know what you think. I'm creating a poll right now. And your participation in this poll is important. Let me know what you believe is the real God. Christianity. Erlinda Cadano. Hi. Christianity. Allah is from Islam. For anybody out there that believes in Allah, your participation is important. Done. Through the years of humanity, I would say there is overwhelming proof that there has never been a God of any kind. Are you sure about that? That's an interesting opinion or your point of view. I'm gonna put up a poll right now on the chat. Sorry. Which God is real? Here you go. I start a poll somewhere on the chat in case you want to participate. Oh, it's loading. Okay. Also, I'm gonna include in the chat the link in case you want to call in and have a conversation with Clear Waters. My name is Javier. Welcome. Which God is real? This is going to be interesting because Some people say is the God of the Bible. Some people say is Allah. Let me make sure my hey Don, I saw your message. Give me a chance for a moment. I'm gonna make sure that my Discord is up and running, just in case someone wants to call in and have a respectful conversation. Try not to call me names. There you go. So the Discord is up and running and we're using the same link. Okay, so it's good. Don writes, to clarify, a God that cares about anything. Ooh. Wait a minute. Do you see the options of the three gods that I put up there? Do you know about Chulum is my question, Don. Because apparently not many people know that there is a god named Chulum. Okay, that polling that I made supposedly is 100%, so it should be showing up anytime. Call in. I'm gonna put up that link in case anybody wants to call and have a respectful conversation. Call in. There you go. Okay, that polling is still loading, 67%. So it's gonna show up here in a few minutes because I want to know your opinion, your point of view. Please, like always, I ask you, try not to preach, because it's gonna get boring, you preaching about your beliefs, about what you believe the book says. It gets very old very quickly. Let me know what you think, what you believe. Tell me about your feelings. Tell me about some information that probably I don't know about, or maybe that people don't know about. Hey, Larry Friesen. Larry writes, Jesus Christ is the only true king. His tomb is empty. He rose from the dead. My king is alive. The preaching alert. Woo, 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 woo. Preaching. It gets very old, you know. Which tomb? You're just, the tomb is empty. Yeah. Nobody believes that. Don Rice, Chilum. Who's Chilum? It's Chulum. Chulum. I made an entire live stream providing information about Chulum because not many people know who Chulum is. And it makes a lot of sense that probably nobody knows who Chulum is, but pay attention because more and more people are gonna be asking about Chulum. Rich, I tried to look up Chulum. I couldn't find anything. You are not going to find anything about Chulum because Chulum, I'll be giving you more information as we go on the live stream. I'm going to tell you who Chulum is and what. Man, I have to bite my tongue. You guys will. I'm going to tell you here in a few minutes who Chulum is, but option C, Manesh, Mohan. Hey, Manesh, how you doing? Yeah, option C. Apparently you have heard about Chulum before. Interesting. Apparently more and more people are starting to understand who Chulum is and why people are starting to choose Chulum. But there should be a poll loading here on the chat in a few minutes. Still loading. Wow. I didn't know that polls from YouTube take so long to upload. Rich, Google said Chulum didn't exist. So NGL, I gotta say that's the real one. Interesting, Rich. Try to write a little bit clearer so I can understand your message. But I think you're saying that Chulum, gotta say that's the real one. What makes you come to that conclusion? Manes or option C. Don writes, I'm ready. Enlighten me. Oh, give me just a few minutes. I'm gonna tell you. Because probably if you believe in any of the other gods, Don, by when I'm done telling you about Chulum, probably you're gonna switch gods. You're gonna go with Chulum. Because Chulum is the new god in town. And he's taking over. Larry writes, you wanted to know which God is real. Well, there is your proof. 500 witnesses. 500 people witnessed his death. He rose from the dead, making him the King of the universe and Lord of all. Larry, there's so many problems that, you might ask yourself, you keep telling this to people and like nobody wants to listen, not even myself. I'm not interested, because you don't know this. You believe this is real for your own personal reasons. But I don't know anybody that is an witness of his death. So I don't know how you are so sure that there are 500 people that witness his death. Could someone just lie and probably they did something because these people were not very knowledgeable? They didn't have as much information and technology as we do. Probably people were fooled. Someone did some magic and 500 people were fooled, and you think that these 500 people saw a man die and they waited there for 3 days and saw the Jesus resurrect. I mean, that's why I heard this many times, and people just don't care about supposed witnesses. Nanology, right? Do we have a list of these 500? No. Nobody has the names of whoever these 500 people were. This just can be just made up. Don writes, rising from the dead has been done before. It could all just be a lie. How can we prove that this was not a lie, something made up? Because not you or me know any of these witnesses. So for anybody that believes that these witnesses are real, it's going to be under your belief, not under your knowing. So I'm looking at this poll. They're supposed to be loading. And I don't see it yet. Do you guys see the poll? It says 57%. It's been like that for a long time. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is my lack of knowledge. This is the first time I do a poll and you guys are voting that the God of the Bible, Christianity, is real. Whoa, are you serious? 0% for Allah? So no Muslims here on the chat? Because previously I have had Muslims on the chats before. And Chulum, 43%? 7 votes. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Don writes, rising from the dead has been done before. Not to sound negative. Yeah, or someone can trick someone else to make him believe that someone rose from the dead, you know. I don't know if you've seen those videos, people doing that today, incredible, in Africa. Like getting a guy from the coffin and bring him to life. Hey, Larry writes, this is a documentation. Excuse me. Larry writes, this is a documentation from the past, same as World War I. You weren't there, but history shows it. Happened just like the Bible. Yeah, but there's a problem, Larry. I don't believe him. I don't believe the story of 500 people. I don't believe them. So we go back to the same thing. You have to believe that the information of these 500 people is real and correct. And you could be wrong. So Larry, you are betting on red. You are betting that this information is true. But apparently not many people believe it's true. Nanology writes, you compare World War I with video to biblical era. Yeah, I think, Larry, if you believe that there's 500 witnesses, or there were 500 witnesses, from my humble point of view, you could be wrong. Most likely wrong. There's so many mistakes, contradictions in the Bible, some horrible stories, sexism, racism. I don't know what convinced you or persuaded you to believe that these 500 witnesses are real. But I would understand that you will go with that story because you want to save your butt. In case it's true, you don't want to go end up in hell. So 7 votes. Man, this is my first time doing a poll. I find this very interesting. Wow. Okay. Nanology writes, not only did Jesus supposedly rise from the dead, but many saints rose and walked around to right. Yeah, you know, I don't believe the story. Not at all. And Larry, I have a question for you. Why are you mentioning 500 witnesses? What are you trying to do to prove that Jesus really rose from the dead? What are you trying to prove it? Why are you trying to convince yourself you don't have enough faith? Are you trying to prove to other people that Jesus was real and resurrected, and you're not letting people go by faith? Believing without seeing? I see a contradiction there. Don writes, I do not see how any religion can be taken serious. I think the question should be, why are humans so insecure that they need salvation? Man, you touch a nerve. Because I don't know if you have heard any of my live streams before, but I continue repeating, saying the same thing. Believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God. It has everything to do with people's feelings. Something is broken inside. You have not been able to fix it down here on earth. So you have to go to unreasonable, fantastic, esoteric ways to try to fix yourself. So the idea of a loving God sounds good. But that's a really, really good question. That was done. That's a good question. Why are humans so insecure that they need salvation? So basically, why are there people that need a God in their life to be happy while other people do not have any God in their life and they're happy without a God? That's a really good question. Nanology writes, also, if you study other ancient beliefs and texts, overcoming death was a philosophy in many contexts. Alongside deification, many kings and heroes were given godhood. Yeah, nanology at the end, believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God. If the God is real or not is unimportant, because whoever believes in a God, they are not after the God. They are after the emotional rewards that you get from believing that there is a loving God out there. Yeah. Rich, you erase a message. Hopefully you didn't call me any names. Done. Okay, sounds like we are believers in the same philosophy. You know, I'm glad of that someone that writes on the chat, someone in the live stream finally somehow agrees with what I'm putting out there. The purpose of this channel, of these videos that I'm making right now, is to bring awareness to the problem of believing in God's for humans. Man, there's a fly in my room. I gotta be careful I don't open my mouth too much. It's a problem for humans to believe in God. Any God is problematic. So it is my point of view that if you believe in a God, there's a high probability that you are doing it for the wrong reasons that you think that you're doing it. You're doing it because you're under pressure, because of family, group pressure. You're doing it for inertia, or you're doing it because you have an emotional, mental problem. And you're going to unreasonable ways to try to fix yourself. You're not the only one doing that if you believe in a God. There's other people coming up with their own solutions to trying to make themselves feel good about themselves. Oh, I see the poll. Someone from Islam, 12%. We have competition here for God of the Bible and Chulum. For those of you that do not know who Chulum is, in a few minutes here, I'm going to tell you who Chulum is. Probably it's your first time hearing about Chulum. So, man, I don't know, 5. I'm going to call you 5. Hi, there's on God, but I guess you're saying there's one God but Allah, my bro. Yeah, man, you can see the poll. There's not one God, there's more than one God. I'm just mentioning 3 of them. You chose one of them. Why you chose Allah instead of the God of the Bible? Why did you choose Allah instead of Chulum? Probably you can share your opinion or belief or what's on your mind. What made you decide that you needed a God in your life, and why did you choose Allah? Probably when you hear about Chulum, hopefully you're strong on your faith with Allah, because once you hear about Chulum, man, Nanology writes, I'll read the Quran for $500. Man, I guess that was a joke, man. That was a good one. So no God, no God, but Allah. Okay, I'll make the correction. Not God, but Allah. So my question is still the same. Why did you choose one of these entities? What for? What's going on in your life that you need a God in your life that you cannot see, hear, talk to, hear back, smell, touch? But you have a book. No God, but a book. Also, we have 9 votes. Whoa, wait a second. 44% God of the Bible and Chulum 44%. Are you guys serious? For anybody that has voted for Chulum, do you even know who Chulum is? If you don't, I'm gonna tell you who Chulum is. It's gonna be quite interesting. I can prove to you who Chulum is and how I got to know Chulum. But you will hear that name more and more. Yes, sirree. Man, I'm looking at that poll, 44-44. That's interesting. So for anybody that voted for God of the Bible, why or what for? Why do you need a God in your life? To my friend that I don't understand the username, there's a 5 in there. What made you decide to believe that Allah was a good choice to be implemented or used in your life? Is that even a question? Listen, my bro, it's a big topic. I need a long time. Man, I can tell you about Chulum in just 1 minute. Very simple. No dramas. So, if anybody out there needs a long time to believe in a God, or sorry, Allah in this case, man, that's not very attractive. I think you should be able to present what is the main reason that you decided that a book was correct about presenting information supposedly about a God. Hey, make an exception for now, okay? Allah. Because we're talking about gods in this live stream. No mean disrespect, okay? Done. I do not need an official religion to tell me my right and wrong. I personally have inner morality, but it's my own personal standards. I think we need basic guidelines for us to live by. So, Don, what stops you from going around and killing people? What stops you? What moral standard? Where did you take it from? What keeps you away from choosing that path? I'm being serious. Because if you have no God in your life, you have to explain yourself. Because for the believer, how is it possible for you to have morals without a God? It's impossible. You need a moral authority in your life. Uh-oh, I just noticed something. This has got to be a joke. Chulum 50%? Man, I gotta take a picture of this. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I have no involvement on this. Let me take a screenshot of this. because I find this quite interesting and put the time and everything, yes. So my friend number 5, I was in a great doubt, but there's meta science out of my mind leads me to faith. I was in a great doubt. What was the number one? What was the number one reason, sign, whatever you want to call it? What was the biggest one, the strongest one that you said, man, no, Allah is real? Share it with us. I would like to hear it. And remember, we're having a respectful conversations. Hopefully we are all adults here. Nanology. Islam is just Christianity 2.0. Islam is just Christianity 2.0. Maybe they took the idea of a God or the God of the Bible and they mold it to be implemented in another way. Maybe. I think it's possible. That's why there are so many denominations of probably the same God. God equals the squat roof. Okay, I'll call you God equals. Writes, only the great pumpkin is the true, real, holy God. God equals, is that supposed to be a joke or are you being serious? Man, I'm looking at that poll. For those of you that do not know who Chulum is, I will tell you. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of it because I don't know much too, but I know enough to share with you. Nanology writes, it didn't stop there. We also have Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness. The list goes on and on and on. That is absolutely correct. So you can take the idea of the God and make it into whatever you want. As long as you are able to produce feelings in people's belief system, you can use the God. And also, if you want to implement one of those God businesses to make money, you can adjust the God and make it into something like the prosperity gospel, some ramifications of the God. Okay, the 5, my friend 5 from Islam. Okay, I will tell you, but I'm slow in writing. Try to make it simple for us. Not a long story, no preaching, just the simple one, the biggest one. What was it? If you're kind enough to share with us, because there's a few people here in the live chat and people that watch the live stream after, and also on the shorts that I put out, that probably would like to know what make you decide that the God presented in the book is real, or Allah is real. Nanology writes, do you know Mormons visit the site where Joseph Smith died? It's a holy place. You know, Nanology, I'll go back again to what I said, that the God is real or not is the source of feel good that people will go after and protect. Because they are not really protecting the God, they are protecting their own feelings. And I'm trying to put this out there so we stop lying to ourselves and pretending that there's a God out there, because this is ruining humanity. I think that religion is the normalization of a problem, and we have to take it back. Hey, fly. Done right. Very true. I guess we have to have a religion for our guidelines to live by. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or what. No, we need no religion. Monkeys don't go around killing all the rest of the monkeys. Apparently, they figured it out without a god. So, I'm gonna call you Islam if you don't mind, because I don't understand your user. Right, the experiences of near of death is one of it. Wow. Are you serious? I thought you were gonna say something like very extremely convincing. Well, maybe it means a lot to you, but there's a lot of people experiencing near death experiences every day, and they don't start believing in a God or start believing in Allah just because they go through a near-death experience. There's gotta be something related to your emotions that is attached to Allah, and that's why you believe, because feelings precede actions. So your action of believing in this God must come from a source of feel, unless you are an extraterrestrial being, then that's not the case. But if you're a human being, yeah, you operate under thought, feel, and action. Oh, Islam, right. I saw Jinn, in fact, else face to face. Wait. Please write correctly. What or who did you see face to face? Who is Jinn? Yes, please clarify that for us. Nanology writes, yes, it's based on location and indoctrination plus feelings, which are normally prime feelings due to family and friends who also believe. Yes, Nanology, I agree. I will take it more, expand it more into human mechanics, how we work as human beings. If we don't understand how we operate, talking about energy wise, I'm not trying to go woo. No, I'm talking about having thoughts that precede feelings, and feelings that precede actions. If we don't understand that as human beings, someone that does understand that is going to use us for their own source of feel good. So basically, yes, I think that the beliefs in gods has to do entirely with the person's feelings. This is something that people that have come to the live stream and I tell them that they believe because it feels good to them, they say no. Believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God. And I ask the question, what in your belief in the God, in the book, from the book, does not relate to anything about your feelings? I'm still waiting for an answer for that question. That's when people start doing verbal jiu-jitsu, trying to go around and squeeze and, doing the, what's it called? The matrix, evading the question, avoiding the question. Sometimes it's hard for me to have a respectful, straight, honest conversation with someone that believes in a God. It's extremely hard. So Islam writes, jinn is ghost and is real, lead to fact of another world. Man, I'm gonna look for this jinn that you're referring to because it just caught my attention. Let me find out about this jinn. Give me just 1 second here. Man, 62% chulung. Allah and jinn. Let's see what it says. Yeah, I don't find why you're referring to jinn. Probably it's in your language. Yeah, probably if you can expand on that, what you're saying, it's the ghost of Allah. Is that what you're saying? Jinn is creatures almost like us, and they are not a joke orange myth. So basically you're saying that some ghost, that a ghost that almost looks like us human beings presented or show up in front of you face to face, and what happened next? Yeah, you're getting me into your story about having this experience. Hopefully it leads to Allah. Maybe I'll get converted right here, right now, in front of everybody on the live stream. I'm doubting a little bit, because even if a ghost show up in front of you, how do you know that ghost comes from Allah? Probably it's the devil himself or a demon. Yeah. I don't know. 62%. I normally do 1 hour live streams unless I have someone on the call or someone is asking me questions on the chat or having a conversation. Then I will expand more than that. But normally I do 1 hour. I think the most I have done is 2 hours, 20 minutes. So I saw them several times and will tell you what happened, what made you decide to believe that Allah was real based in this encounter that you have with some ghost, and how you confirm that this ghost came from Allah. Man, I don't know about anybody in the live stream, but I'm interested to find out about this supposed experience with some ghost that has to do with Allah. There's been some people that have told me that why I am spreading this information, why I don't invite people to debate that are very good in debating and talking in favor of the God of the Bible or Allah. I have had my experiences debating and normally ends up in the debater calling me names, or maybe threatening me, or just have to sit down and hear someone preach. So I try to avoid debates and have conversations. And also, if there's a God out there, we should not be debating about it. You should be just pointing your finger and tell me where I can go and find this God. So Islam writes, I saw them several times and will tell you, in start, most of them believe in God. Man, you know, Islam, you know that this is going to be a tough one for anybody to believe. Did you take your camera, your phone, and film? Do you have any video of this encounter? Because I'm pretty sure you have your phone close to you. Or it's just a story that you tell people. Because if you tell this I was almost atheist, but I was shocked. Well, you know, that's very interesting because I also had an experience with a ghost. None other than the Holy Ghost. I made an entire video explaining detail by detail my encounter with the Holy Spirit. No doubt. And still, I don't believe in the God of the Bible. So I think that tells you everything right there. Man, I wish you could write faster and just tell us to get to the point where you got shocked about this experience with a ghost, and then you went from an atheist or non-believer to believer, to see and understand what made you click. What made you go from no, I don't believe, to oh, Allah is the only one true God. Chulum. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chulum because we're on the 46-minute mark. Chulum. I made a video. Actually, I think I made more than one video talking about Chulum. Chulum is the only real God out there. He's the creator of the universe. I gotta put my finger here. And he's the creator of humanity. Okay? You don't believe me? I'll show you. There it is. Chulum with a coffee and an iPod. This is just for illustration purposes because Chulum has no book. Chulum has no religion. What's so different about Chulum? Chulum is the only non-violent God. Dagobah Dave. Oh, I thought I was voting for Chulum. I don't know what you mean by that, Dago. Please elaborate. And Islam writes, you are honest, sir. Could I ask you if you have a real description of a God in Quran? I don't understand your question very well, but I do not believe that Allah is real. I think it's just information in a book that through the power of associations, you feel that the God or Allah is real. Dago, you are more than welcome to vote, and I'm gonna continue telling you about Chulum. I'm glad you don't believe in any gods. That's good. I'm just telling out there that if you have to believe in a God, probably Chulum is a better choice because Chulum is the only non-violent God. I heard someone on the call. Is someone calling? Yes.
Me, your good friend. It's me.
Hey, how you doing, man? Hold on a second. Let me do my normal procedure of taking the music down. Hold on a second. And then bring the audio for the Discord up. Go ahead. So see if I can hear you.
Hello.
Oh, how you doing, man? How you been?
Oh, I'm doing good. How have you been?
Good, good, good. Did you see the poll? How interesting.
No. Let me check the poll.
Yeah, check the poll because I'm extremely surprised that Chulum got 65%. So Chulum is on top.
Chulum's on top. Look at that.
I don't know exactly how that happened. It's in the chat.
Oh, okay, there it is. I see it now. All right, I'm gonna pick Christianity.
Go for it.
Christianity coming back.
Might probably before the live stream
Maybe,
ends.
maybe.
So I was telling about people about Chulum, because
Yeah.
apparently not many people know about it. So just to give me let me 2 more minutes. I finish explaining that Chulum is the only non-violent God, is the only creator of the universe and creator of humanity, and there's proof for it because the universe couldn't come up by itself. The universe cannot come from nothing. So Chulum created the universe. Humans couldn't come up from nothing. So Chulum created humans. There is your proof right there. And if you need a God in your life, you might go with Chulum because with Chulum, there is no sacrifices, there is no salvation, there's no hell, there is no heaven, there is no jumping through hoops. Chulum is not going to send any family members to be destroyed, brutally murdered, bloody. No, he's not going to do that. You cannot mock Chulum. He does not care. Whatever you can think, say, and do, he already made it so you can think, feel, and do it. Otherwise, you are not able to do anything unless he made it. So, Chulum doesn't want your love. He doesn't care about it. Chulum doesn't love you. He's his normal state, love, whatever. So if you need a God in your life, probably you consider Chulum. Probably that's why people are choosing Chulum on the poll. This is very interesting. Go ahead, my friend.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I just
I mean,
wanted to
I don't. I,
introduce. I just wanted to introduce Chulum. You know, tell people a little bit about Chulum, and they can ask
sure.
me questions about Chulum if they want.
Yeah. So, is there any kind of prophecies that Chulum has fulfilled so that people can look back and say, okay, Chulum has come and told us, hey, this is going to happen, and then several hundred years later, that thing actually happened. And are there like hundreds of prophecies so that it's not a coincidence? Is there any way that we can know that? It's true that this, whatever this creator is, actually did create the world, and what they're saying is true.
Chulum does not interact with humans. He's a God. Why would he talk
Okay.
to humans for? Why would he try to convince you that he's God? What for? What is he going to win for convincing you that he is God? He has no need
Sure.
for it.
Gotcha. Well, my thought process on it, right? So, like, if I like it, and let's put ourselves in this position. So, if I had infinite power, right? I would have infinite power. I'd be able to do whatever I want. I'd be able to create these universes and these galaxies and this thing called space and time and the infinite intricacies of mathematics and science. I'd be able to explore all of that. Chemistry, and I have this infinite tapestry that I can create, right?
Mhm.
As me, right? It like from my perspective, I think what would end up happening is I would end up getting bored, and I would end up saying, you know, I want to, y- you know, I want to experience the things that I created. I want to love them. I want to experience this thing that I've created that's called love. I want to experience it with something that I've created.
Man,
I think that's what would happen to me.
yeah,
Just saying.
that presents a big, humongous problem. I'm tempted to create another poll from what you just said because it seems that God is using us.
Well, you can. It's your channel. I can't stop you.
But it sounds like that.
I'm
You
trying to,
can push
I'm trying
back.
to triangulate. I can't stop you.
But it sounds like if God is creating us because he's bored, then it sounds like he's using us. You correct me if I'm wrong. We're having a conversation.
True.
That's
You know,
that's why Chulum doesn't interact with
o-
us.
o-
He does not care.
obviously that's not in the like. Obviously that's not in the Bible. That's just what I was saying about Chulam, right? So like you asked me, why would a creator, right? Chulam's a god, and Chulam doesn't need to interact with his creation. I'm just theorizing. Like I'm not saying that's part of the Bible. I'm done. I'm done trying to convince you to be a Christian. You've made your decision. I'm just talking to you because you're a nice dude.
No, and I appreciate it. I think these conversations that we're having I think, is healthy, and people listening because probably two opposed views.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm trying to bring awareness to the problematic of believing in God. I think it's a problem. I'm not trying to. I'm not upset at God. I'm not trying to create a revolution. Is that I
Hmm.
experienced it myself. I come from being a believer, and this
Yeah.
thing was taking me in the wrong path, and it has nothing to do with being a Catholic, a Christian, or in Santeria, which I have family members that were in that religion too.
So tell me about the wrong path.
For example, if you put more focus in your life right now to an invisible entity that is not here right now with you, interacting with you directly as a personal relationship, then giving more focus to your family, which people do a lot under a religion.
Well, then why are you on YouTube Live right now? Like, if you're saying you stopped being Christian to focus on your family, then what are you doing on YouTube Live?
Because I want to bring awareness to the problem of believing in God. For me, when someone believes in a God, it reveals a problem in the person, not in the God. When someone believes in a God, something is going on in their life that they have gone through extreme measures to try to make themselves feel good about themselves. They have not been able to do it with anything down here on earth. So they're going to go shopping outside of the world to find something that makes them feel good. That's why you heard me before
Right.
saying that believing in God has
Yeah,
nothing to
I
do.
agreed with you on that. I agreed
Be,
with you on that. And I don't think that there is anything on this earth that could
right.
ever satiate people. I think that we are seeking for something spiritual. I think that that is what separates us from the animals, is that we seek the spiritual things.
The problem is that if someone takes control of that information that you believe and use, let's say to communicate with the God, is
Hmm.
problematic because someone is pressing the buttons for you, someone is moving the
Yes,
switches for you.
agree. Yes, definitely. And Jesus preached about that.
And
Like I take issue with earlier a moment ago, you said, something that, you can't see, that you're not talking to, that you're not interacting with, that you're not having a relationship with. Like that's true. That's called empty Christianity.
mhm,
Like there are people out there that are empty Christians. There are people out there that are only going on Easter, that are only going on Sunday, that are only doing the Christmas stuff. They're only doing that because their parents did it, right? They're doing it
mhm,
for the wrong reasons, right? Um, Seeking a relationship with Jesus is the reason to do it, not to make your mom or dad happy, right? It's not like all those things that you said Christians don't get. Christians get that. Christians get a relationship. If they don't have a relationship, if they come home from church and kick their shoes off and start yelling at their wife and kids and stuff, and angry and self-centered and all of that stuff, then yeah, they're empty Christians. They're not allowing Jesus into their life. They're not allowing that relationship. They're not allowing that transformation.
what do you
But
think
when
there
they allow it, when they allow
why
that transformation, they do have that relationship you talked about.
why do you think they will block something good? Why do you think why in the world would they do that?
Say, say that question again.
Why in the world would they block or ignore something that is good, that is Jesus.
Why would somebody choose to run away from Jesus?
Yes, if they're a Christian and they're not really looking into Jesus, when they get home from church, they kick their dog, they yell to their wife,
Right.
and they're not really letting Jesus into their life
So why would they show up to church? Why would they show up to church and stand there and pretend to be a Christian but then live a different life?
because there's promise.
Why
Or
you're,
yeah, I'm
you're
gonna.
asking why people do that?
Oh, sorry. Okay. No, why you said that people choose, you said something in that line that people choose to ignore Jesus. They don't allow Jesus into their life. And my question
Yeah.
was, why do you think that people would avoid to allow something good to come into their life, which is
Right.
Jesus?
There's a lot of different reasons why, right? So
One,
a really simple one is because they don't want to stop doing the bad things that they like because sin feels good momentarily, right? In the beginning, sin feels great. A lot of times sin feels awesome. So they don't want to allow Jesus to into their life and transform them because they love their sin more than they love Jesus.
so
And
they're
whatever that
basing.
sin is, and whatever that sin is, whether that sin is pornography or whether that sin is lusting after women or whether that sin is over gambling or over drinking or whether that sin whatever that sin might be,
So
like it
are you saying that they're basing their decision on emotions?
I'm saying they're basing their decision on facts
No, no,
that
no, 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 no.
that
Wait.
I guess I
You're,
can't answer the question that you
yeah,
want me. Like you want me to
no.
answer the question you want me to answer. So,
No,
what answer
you're
do you want
changing.
from me, and I'll just give that answer.
No. Come on. You're gonna go there. You say something, and then you wanna change the conversation. Is if Jesus is offering something good that you know
Mhm.
is gonna make you feel good,
Yeah,
why would someone choose something else? Because you're
I've
saying
answered the
that
question,
their sin makes them feel good.
right?
You said
Because
that,
they
right?
love their sin. Yes, they love
Because
their
of
sin
how
more
because
than
of
they love
how
Jesus.
because of how their sin makes them feel, right?
Correct. They
Yeah,
love their
so
sin more than they love Jesus.
correct
So
me if I'm
yes,
wrong,
love.
then
It's emotions. Yes, fine.
they're basing their
It's emotion.
decision on feelings.
Sure.
Okay, so what decision are you taking where from when you choose Jesus over your sins or something bad? It's based on
I'm
what?
sorry. You'll have to restate. It's based on emotions. You're right. It's based on emotions. It's based on love. They love their sin more than they love Jesus.
Do you love Jesus more than your sins?
I do, yes.
Are you just agreeing with me or are you being serious?
I love Jesus more than my sin, yes.
So your choice has nothing to do with your feelings?
It, is love a feeling?
We can agree as human beings that love could be related to something that we feel.
Right.
Yeah,
So love is a feeling. So yes, my decision is based on feelings.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong that you feel good with Jesus.
right.
All I'm saying is that we are human beings. We are designed to go after feeling, not after the God.
Right. Yes, exactly. We're supposed to go after the love of Jesus, not, just blindly following the rules.
Okay, okay, I respect your point of view. As I understand it, we
Yeah.
human beings follow feel, and
Correct.
good is a feeling that we
Yeah.
are
And what's
pulled to
wrong with
go
following
after.
your feelings?
that if you don't understand that, okay, we go after feeling, not after a God. That's why people switch gods. And this presents
Okay.
a problem. This is something to be talked about. I'm not coming to any conclusions. All I'm saying is that it seems to me that if someone
Can
is
I ask you a
saying that
question?
they're, do you allow me to finish? When someone says
Yeah, I
that they
guess.
love God, I think what they are really saying is that they love the feeling they get from believing in a God.
Some people, I believe, you're right. Some people, that's true, right? But some people love God.
Okay,
So can I ask you a question?
sure.
Earlier, I said that, yeah, that the decision to love Jesus is based on my feelings. And I was like, what's wrong with making a decision based on your feelings? Right.
Hmm.
And you seem to like guffaw at that. You seem to act. Hold on one second. Time do we need to pick up?
Man, 62% chulum. Apparently, some people like my description of chulum. It
All
sounds
right,
like an
I'm back.
attractive God. Go ahead, man.
So what's wrong with making a decision based on your feelings?
It could lead you to take a bad decision thinking that you're doing something good just because it
Okay.
feels good. That's
All
why
right.
for
So this.
some
All
that
right. All right. So let me ask one more question.
mhm.
So why did you marry your wife? Was it a
Man,
feelings based thing? Was it a feelings based thing, or was it like was it logic and reason?
it was
Like why
100.
did you choose to why did you choose to give your kid a birthday present this year?
Because
Was
it
it a
felt good.
feelings based thing? Was
Yes,
it a feelings
100%.
based thing?
Yes. And I
So
married
why is
my
it so
wife.
terrible? So why is it so terrible to make a decision based on your feelings?
I
It seems to me like I listed a couple of feelings based decisions that were pretty darn good ones, that didn't really lead you down a bad road, that really didn't lead you to a bad place, that led you to a place of loving and caring and all of that stuff for your wife and for your, beautiful family.
Everything that we do, any action that we take in this life has to be preceded by a feeling. Period. So you ask me why I married my wife? Because of a feeling. Why I bring a present to my son? Because of a feeling. Why did I caress my dog? Because of a feeling. 100%. Why did I get up off the bed this morning? Because of a feeling. Not because of food, not because of whatever supposedly run us. We run on feel, human beings.
I'm hooked on a feeling.
You're making fun of me, but this is a brings a big, humongous question. Why are humans running on feel? Who made this?
Not Chulum, dude. Not Chulum.
Man, always nice talking to you, man. Thank you for calling me. You always make this live stream more interesting, and thanks you for being respectful. I know you get excited, we get excited, but we always keep it respectful. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, always. Last time I was on, I got a little bit of excited. This time, I think I'm being a little. Are you trying to? Do you want me to go? Is that what you're saying?
No, because I don't have any other callers right now. So I thought you were leaving for a moment there.
Well,
If you want to keep asking questions and you want to whatever, I'm up to it. And there's people
no, I'm
writing
just
on the
saying.
chat.
I'm just saying. There's nothing wrong with making a. There's nothing wrong with making a. But like, there is something wrong with making an emotional decision all the time. Like, not every decision should be based on emotions, obviously.
Can you
But
name one?
name one. I mean, that it's okay to make on emotions.
No, no, no. Every action we take as human beings is gonna be preceded by some feeling that we have. Either remember I said pull or push. Something good
Oh,
is going
okay.
to pull us, and something bad is going to push us to take an action. So
Sure.
when it comes to God, there's a problem, because if you present data of a God that is asking people to kill someone and they feel good about the God, they gonna feel good about doing something bad. And this happens every day around the world. Some people use the God of the Bible to do harm, to do
Yeah, that's
scams.
terrible. They
If
do.
you watch
They
my live streams, I give you examples all the time, and
I
I'm
mean
hearing myself.
they do. I mean I believe you. Um I think the entire, like, from my perspective, right? The entire Islamic religion to me is that it's a anti it's an antichrist religion, you know. So I know what you were looking, you know, from your perspective. Like, I'm calling all other religions and saying, you know, they're, you know, not real. You're just calling one more not real. Like, I get your perspective.
Yeah,
um
I can
I
create
don't
a
really
God.
want to. Yeah.
I can create a God, okay? And
Well, I
I
mean,
can
yeah.
give you proof that the God is real. I can present you with the universe. And
True.
someone
Yeah,
else is
yeah.
gonna come up with a God, and they're gonna say the same thing. The universe is the proof that the God, whatever X or Y,
Yeah,
is real, because he created the universe. He's the only one. So all the gods are competing to see
definitely.
which one pulls more people into their religion.
Definitely. Definitely. You know, from,
You
and exactly, you're exactly right. And you know, I don't fault you because I know where you're coming from. I know how you feel. From my perspective, there's archaeology, there's history, there's, you know, contemporary historians from that era that wrote things down. To me, the history kind of is what pushes it in the pushes it from mythology to this is nonfiction, right? This actually happened. That's what changes it for me. Is the archaeology and the history. So,
but
um,
what are you trying to accomplish with these archaeological findings and this information? Are you trying to prove that God is real or that Jesus was
no,
real? What are you trying to
no, I'm not.
accomplish with that?
So, do you believe so?
Because I'm
Do you
sorry.
believe do you believe Socrates is a real guy?
While you're answering my question with a question, are you going to answer my question after I answer to yours?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
But like
Okay.
it's funny. It's funny. But go ahead, answer the question. You're gonna say yes, right?
Uh, you asked me if I believe that Socrates was what?
A real guy.
I don't know.
All right. Um, Most people believe Socrates is a real guy. And it's funny because there's a thing that's called the Socratic method. And
Mm-hmm.
the Socratic method is to extract information by asking questions. So it was funny that I asked, you know, do you believe Socrates is a real guy? And the Socratic method is what lawyers do basically. They
Mm-hmm.
ask questions to withdraw information. So
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that you asked that at that moment. But anyway, um, most people would say Socrates is a real guy, and the point of that question is that um, we have fewer writings and fewer like history and archaeology about Socrates than we do about Jesus. So it's like all, and it's not just Socrates, right? There's all sorts of historical people that you could name, and I could ask you if they were real or not, and you would probably say yes. And it's like we have less evidence about that person than we do about Jesus. So to me, you know, yeah, you can make up Chillum, right? But with the Bible, we can go back and we can look at the evidence of where it started, right? We can look at the area that it was written about. we can look at contemporary writings from that region, from that time, and we can see that the way that the names are dispersed in the Bible is the correct, statistical
But
disbursement that you would, should see of names. And there's like everything points to it being a legitimate document from that time, coupled with the fact that after Jesus died, like the apostles didn't leave immediately. They didn't leave the region immediately.
but
They
allow
stayed
me
there.
to stop you for a moment. I'll go back to my question and I'll rephrase it in a simple way. What are you trying to do with this information?
What
Are
I'm
you,
trying to do with this information
let me ask you,
is simply say is simply say
are,
this.
are you
It
trying to
is simply say
bypass
this.
faith?
No, I'm not trying to bypass faith.
So why you don't
What
stay
I'm
on faith?
sure.
Why don't you
What I'm
believe in faith?
what I'm simply trying to do. What I'm simply trying to do is I have a very analytical mind.
Yeah, but you're
And
going
prior
against
to
faith. The heavens is from I don't remember the exact words, but the heavens belongs to the people that have faith, not the ones that are investigating and trying to find proof. What are you doing?
you keep
You're
going.
breaking
Okay,
your
you're on a
faith.
roll. Keep going. You keep going and let me know when you want me to finish what I was saying. You keep
You
going.
were going to the road that there's enough information out there that points to the existence of Jesus and existence of God. And I ask you, what are you trying to accomplish with that? Try to convince yourself or other people that Jesus was real and God is real and that Jesus was God. What for? People should be living in faith, not by evidence. Remember, I was a believer too. So it's not that I'm new in this information. I used to speak in tongues. I used to pray over other people. So you're contradicting your own belief. You should not be trying to investigate and find archaeological findings. No, you should believe in God by faith. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get to heaven. Because this question, God is going to ask you, why were you asking questions and flipping rocks? What were you trying to find? Were you doubting? That's why it's called the Word of God, which you should be listening and believing. Nowhere in the Bible says that you should be asking questions and investigating. I'm just saying. You know, in a way, hopefully you're getting my point. I'm really happy that you're investigating. Yeah, ask questions, go with the archaeological findings and let's find out what they found. If they found Jesus, proof of Jesus, okay, perfect, Jesus existed. Now, what information can we also find that he was God? Man, who's playing the guitar back there? Is it getting better?
You like the guitar, dude? You like the guitar?
Yeah, man, I love music.
Do you play any instruments?
Man, in church, I used to sing, play the guitar, play the piano, play the
Nice.
congas, play the maracas, play everything. They put me to do everything. And for free. They never pay me.
They put you to work so bad. You're like, I'm out of here. You guys are putting me to work too much.
They were using me. No, man, I had so much fun at church with the community, the people, everybody was beautiful. So what?
Do you still play?
No, I still sing in my
That's
shower,
good.
but
You should play. I mean, come on, man. You like, even if you don't have the faith anymore, you should still play.
no, I like music. I love music. I actually have one video where I'm dancing to some church music that I made a video of it because the music was so nice. People, like dancing and and praying the Lord. I found it amazing. I like music. Even actually one of my musics that I put at the end of the live streams is a prayer song. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's yeah, I like I especially like Christian music.
Man,
What
I
kind of
miss
music
that.
do you like?
In church we played everything for from slow music. We also played salsa, we played merengue, we played ballads, we played everything because the church director, he was a musician like out in the world, so he will bring all
Mhm.
that music into church. So he saw me one day fiddling with the piano. He's like, can you make two chords? I was like, sure, I'll do it. Man, he teach me everything about music, and I learn a lot from him.
Amen, man. That's awesome. So I man, I hope that you get a keyboard or maybe pick up a little guitar, pick up a little acoustic guitar, and you keep playing it because I bet you had fun.
It,
And
it, it was fun.
I bet you had fun, man. And I bet even if you're not doing it in church, you would still like it. So I would encourage you. I would encourage you to get yourself a little guitar and keep doing it.
Thank you,
I
appreciate
played
it,
guitar
man.
for a real long time. You know, it's cool to kind of get
Man, it
home from
helps for
work and
the it
chill.
helps
And
for the heart. It helps. It's like a therapy. It's nice. I really
yeah,
like music.
yeah, I think it helps with the brain too. Just playing an instrument, keeping I don't know how old you are, but as we're getting older, uh, it helps with the brain.
I'm on my way to my 60s.
No way.
Yes. Oh
Mm.
yes. But anyways, man, thank you very much again. Now I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna read some of these chat messages because there's people with a lot of opinions, and still Chulum 59%. Something is interesting
All
here.
right, I'm gonna go on mute then. I'm gonna go on mute. You go ahead. I'm gonna jump over the chat and we'll
All
see.
right,
I might talk to him.
all right, sounds good. Alrighty, man. Always happy to have a conversation with the gentleman. I don't know his name, but always interesting. And I'm gonna read some of these messages because I read some of them, and whatever happened to Islam guy that was writing about his experience about with some ghost. Okay, so I pick up here. So, uh, okay, Dago wrote, I don't believe in any gods. Good for you. But if you are going to believe in a god, which I don't recommend it, go with Chulum. Redeemed in Jesus Christ. Jesus is God. No, you're incorrect. It's Chulum. You have the wrong data. You have the wrong book. Islam, oh, here's the guy. Okay, may I know your problem with God generally? The belief in God is a problem for humanity. You don't believe in a God, you believe in a book that talks about a God. You have a book, not a God. So it's not that I have a problem with God. I have a problem with pretending that there is a God just for the emotional benefits that you get from believing that the information of a God coming from a book promise you that you are going to feel good in the future. Very problematic because that same information can be used against you and against humanity. And there is absolute proof of that. Redeemed in Jesus Christ. There are hundreds of prophecies, and Jesus fulfilled them. When I ask in my live streams, please provide me with a prophecy that can be really convincing that Jesus is God. The prophecy normally is very generic to the point that it should convince me that Jesus is God. And it doesn't convince many people. So what does that tell you? Survivor fan, what is Chulum? I already gave some information about Chulum, but it's the only non-violent God. The only one that does not promote violence. Dago, Survivor Fan 22. Okay, so you're writing to someone else. Mostly Gizzard. No God have no God that I have seen. Mostly Gizzard. I have never seen a God. Myself never heard God's voice. Even though I lied before, I said that I heard God. It was a lie. Um, I was pretending. So no, never touched a God, nothing. I have no information whatsoever that a God is real, not from any of the currently available gods. Survivor Fan, whoa, that's interesting. Where did he find Chulum or accept Chulum as his God? The thing with Chulum is that you don't have to accept him, accept him, accept him. He does not care. He is a real God. He doesn't interact with us. Do you have a, I don't know, do you have a farm and you have cows in the farm? Are you trying to communicate with the cows? Are you trying to show love to your cows and see what they're doing? I don't know, when they're naked, or I don't know, I don't know, I'm just kidding. No, you just let them be cow and just make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and make sure that they are up for the outcome that they are supposed to be doing. Do you have a farm of ants? Are you trying to communicate with the ants and try to see what they're doing and judge them? No. So Chulum, that's why Chulum is a real God. So, um, where did I left? Uh, what is Chulum? Okay, yeah, Chulum is the only non-violent God. Survivor. Yes, no sacrifices, no blood, no sending any family members, sons to be brutally murdered, supposedly to show love. No, he's not gonna show you love. He just created you. Go be human. Go, 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 go. No, but I want to love you, God. Go, be human. But I don't want to make mistakes because you're gonna do something to me. No, 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 no. Remember, I'm Chulum. There's no hell for you. Just do whatever you want. Do the mistakes that you're gonna do. Whatever you're gonna do, man. Just be human. I created human. You want to be disrespectful to me? Do you think I created you with flaws? Just go out of there, man. There's nothing you can do that is going to offend me. So, uh, Dago, Google gives me 0 results for Chulum. So I think the host might be slightly trolling by offering Chulum as a non-violent alternative to the most popular gods. Dago, look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Do you think I'm gonna make up this God? Don't answer. As long as the God is invisible, you cannot prove that Chulum is not real. So, yes and no. Dago, does the color still sin? Yeah, the color is a sinner. But for us that do not believe in the God of the Bible, no, we're not sinners. Charles Oliver. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Okay. Islam person, if there's no God, human will be animal. Nope. Because Chulum, remember? The only true God, real God. Dago right, I'm certain that we are animals, but that doesn't mean that we have to be unthinking savages. We have some capacity for empathy and reason, and that's pretty special. Yes, Dago, if monkeys can figure it out, we humans also can figure it out without the need of a God. For people that could be possibly broken emotionally or intellectually, they probably need a God in their life. That's why I put and suggest believing in Chulum. Charles Oliver, humans are animal. I don't know about you, but I'm not an animal. Charles Oliver, you haven't demonstrated a deity exists. Caller, you're right. That's why, believers mention the book and the belief in the book, not the God. Or believers always have a book, not a God. They can point to the book, they cannot point to the God. Islam, you deny God to be animals. What a surprise. I don't know what you mean. Dago, right, is Chulum standard time, baby? I don't know what you mean by that. Standard time, Chulum. Are you making fun of Chulum? Are you making fun of Chulum? Chulum doesn't care. You cannot make fun of Chulum. Yeah, he doesn't get bothered like the God of the Bible. You mock the God of the Bible and you pay the price because God gets, someone is mocking me. Yeah, Chulum doesn't care. Charles Oliver, he can demonstrate his wife exists. That relates to the conversation that I was having with the caller. Yes. Yes. So it was not a good comparison, but for the purpose of the conversation, I follow along. Dago right. Biologically, we are animals. Our cells are animal cells. But like I said, that doesn't mean we are unthinking savages. Yes. Probably if we ask the question or of where do we really come from? Or do we come from animals? Or and then animals, where do they come from? Many questions, many questions. Let me see, Dago. Man, Dago is like we are communal animals and our survival depends on cooperation. We have biological imperatives that become moral imperative. That makes a lot of sense, Dago. We can figure it out. You want to go around killing people? You probably not going to last probably 1 hour, 1 day until someone else kill you. So you don't want that for your life. So you learn, by experience probably not to be killing people, not to be hurting anyone. Again, a monkey can figure it out. Probably we can figure it out too. No need a God for that. Tony, what is Chulum? Chulum is the only real God, the creator of the universe and creator of humanity. If you need to believe in a God, believe in Chulum. No violence. Charles Oliver. Oh, this is writing to Tony, a message to Tony. Dago, got it. Yep, this host is clever. It's like saying that invisible gremlins created the universe. You can't prove they don't exist. So the universe is evidence that they exist. Exactly. I'm gonna do SMR with you. You hit the nail right on the head. So, Chulum is real? Yes. Yes. Let me see. Islam. So, sir, you didn't see God and didn't see your animal grandfathers? Oh, man, are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of me? I'm going to invoke the God of the Bible, to pray to him, to take care of you, special favors in prayer to the God of the Bible for someone mocking God or mocking me. I'm just kidding. Let me see, man. This is interesting. This is interesting. Dago right. Nobody today is claiming that Socrates was God or the son of God or rose from the dead, or that believing Socrates died for our sins is the only path to forgiveness. I know, Dago, again, for the purpose of having a conversation, I follow along. I know it's a bad comparison, but I think that the caller was trying to make a point. So instead of interrupting him, pointing out that that's not a very good comparison, I let him um, put out there what he's trying to say for the sake of the conversation. We always don't have to be right. We can have conversations and, just enjoy the conversation. Dago also writes, it's easy enough to grant that Jesus probably existed. Maybe even Jesus was crucified. The supernatural claims about Jesus are easily dismissed, though. Yeah, there's a total different thing that prove that Jesus was real and walked the earth. And there's a whole different story to prove that Jesus was a God. Good luck with that one. Man, Dago, nice comments, man. Interesting. Normally I get people pushing back, people upset. This is the first time I have people like, agreeing and giving some inputs about having critical thinking. Dago writes, don't compare the formation of Christianity with whether or not Socrates existed. Compare early Christianity with early Mormonism. Yes, I understand what you're saying. No one seriously doubts that Joseph Smith existed or that he gathered a following. Is that enough to believe the stories by Smith and eyewitnesses that he was genuine prophet or performed miracles? At the end, Dago, it does not really matter, because people that are involved in Christianity or any religion, including Scientology, they are after the feelings. So there's something in Scientology that offers something that feels good to whoever believes in this information, and that's enough for them. And that's problematic. Islam writes, sorry people, Jesus is just a great prophet, not God. How do you know that? Some people are saying the same thing from the other prophet from your religion, Muhammad. So how do we agree or understand which one is the real prophet? What for? At the end, we are after the feelings. People are going to follow one prophet or the other one, whoever offers more emotional rewards. It does not matter who's the real prophet. This is about feelings, not about prophets or gods. Viking Lloyd. I think I'm familiar with your username. Probably you have been here before. God is Pan. Viking Lloyd, why become a Christian or Muslim when you can become a pagan? Okay. Islam writes, listen to the bomb. The real God is Allah. And Jesus is a prophet. Muhammad is a prophet. Moses is so. Again, Islam, it doesn't really matter. Sorry for those who have listened to me before, repeating myself. It does not matter. It's unimportant if the God or the prophet is real or not. This is about feelings, not about gods. Redeemed in Jesus Christ. God is triune. Yes, like West Huff says, God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, they are the same in a separated way that comes together in the synergy of the perfection of the godness that is united in a separation. Wes Huff, man, he doesn't know something, he makes it up, man. When you talk about a God for a living and you make money defending this idea that there's a loving God out there while you are receiving money from talking about this possibility of a God, you are the wrong person to be convincing anyone that there is a God out there, because most likely your motivation is not God, it's the money that you're getting from trying to convince people that there's a God out there. Viking Lloyd writes, the planets gave birth to the gods. I don't know about that. Or Storm Natural, how you doing? Welcome back, Clear Waters. Welcome you back, Storm Natural. Always welcome, man. Charles Oliver. That's a message for Dago. Viking Lloyd writes, Jesus defeated the devil. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. The devil is causing havoc. He's reigning here down on earth. There's evil everywhere. Look at Hollywood. There's no Jesus in Hollywood. Jesus didn't defeat anyone. The devil is like a king here on earth. Where is Jesus when you need it? Nowhere around to found. Evil is everywhere. Look at these countries right now that used to be kind of nice. They are like shoot holes. Man, I froze in a very funny way. I gotta fix my camera, but myself is unimportant. Is the information. Let me disconnect my camera. Okay, so I'm gonna read a few more messages before we call this this live stream. So yeah, I was saying that Jesus has not defeated anyone. That was some marketing. That was a pamphlet that Jesus defeated the devil, but it's not real. Pure marketing. Storm Natural, who wrote the book of Shulam? Shulam that does not have a book. That image that you see there is for illustration purposes only. Chulum does not need to market himself. He does not need to prove to you or me or anybody else that he's real. He does not care. Why? Because he's a real God. He's not interfering with humans. He's not looking at what humans are doing. He's not judging anyone. He's not sending anybody to hell. He's not into sacrifices. So no book. Storm Natural, to answer your question. Mana, the great. Stupid question. None of them are. But the question is not so stupid for millions of people. So I think it's worth it asking it and bring conversation. Dago, I think the book of Chulum is reading on our hearts. Dago, I think one day you should call in, man. You have pointed some things that are very accurate. I'm back. Oh, I'm so beautiful. Yes, Dago. Good points, man. Good points. Viking Lloyd, religion is just something you do religiously. Yes, okay. That was kind of funny. And Viking Lloyd also right, everyone is religious about something, but when you are religious about an invisible friend, ooh, that's problematic. Storm Natural, so is being an atheist. That's why when people ask me, "Are you an atheist?" and my response is, "I'm a human being trying to understand my humanity and trying to understand the people around me, trying to understand humanity, trying to understand where we come from, trying to understand where the universe come from, trying to understand everything. Is there's a purpose of being here?" I keep hearing back. I'm not that smart myself that I somehow have put together that one of the possibilities that we are here on earth is one, to move. We are designed with mobility. We're not like a rock. We can move, and that has a purpose. What purpose? To explore. We need to explore because once we find something and we analyze it, we get bored of it. You know, like your girlfriend. Hey, that was a bad joke. We need to keep exploring. With what purpose? To discover. I don't know what we're supposed to discover. If I knew what we're supposed to discover, it probably is not a discovery anymore. But life is looking for something because life has direction. That's why we have polarity in life. You know, the positive and the negative. That's why we have these thoughts, feels, and actions. You know, feels connecting the thoughts and actions, feel connecting the heavens and the earth for a reason. I would like to have conversations about not an invisible God, about you and me. What are we doing here on earth? Are we on an intergalactic farm? Are we being harvested every 1,000 years? That's why civilizations probably disappear and you only have 2 or 3 people left, Adam and Eve, to create another civilization just to be harvested again in a few 1,000 years, maybe. Or maybe we have a loving God that made us to entertain himself. Yeah, man. Storm Natural, but you don't believe in God, correct? If you're asking me this, Storm Natural, I think for practical purposes, I choose not to believe in any data in these God books. I don't believe it. I don't have anything that leads me to a God. I only have a book. You have a book. We have a book. So you're saying, Storm Natural writes, so you're saying you can find meaning and purpose only within human understanding and that nothing exists outside human comprehension? Yes and no, Storm Natural. Because it just happens that whoever is feeling, in my case, is me. And I'm feeling it inside of me, in my humanity. So yes, I experience life through me, my humanity. I interact with other human beings and I feel it myself. Everything comes back to me, not to a God. That's why the beliefs in God has nothing to do with believing in God. It has everything to do with our feelings. Man. Storm Natural, it's been almost 2 hours. I'm going to be closing here soon. I'm going to read a couple of your messages. Storm Natural writes, I get what you're saying, that eventually humans will be able to understand all mysteries of the universe. Most likely. And then we all gonna laugh. Do you remember when you believe in the God of the Bible? Oh man, we were nuts. We were out of our minds. We didn't have the knowledge. Now we understand life, and now is everything clear now. Oh, Islam, you still there, man? Thank you for hanging in this live stream. And man, I will invite you to come back, because on the next live stream, I'm going to be asking some tough questions for whoever believes in a God that probably could expose you and your feelings. So Islam writes, believe me, sir, if you search Quran, you might find a good point between your speech and Allah of Quran. There's a clear point in it about your dogma. You know, Islam, I call you Islam. In order to allow Allah in my belief system, I have to give some space. I had to create some emptiness, because I don't have that emptiness in my life that I need to put a God in there. I'm not that broken emotionally. I don't need a God in my life. So you can tell me that Allah is magical and he does this God thingies and he does and whatever and he's powerful. Don't care. No, thank you. I don't need a God in my life. I need to take out my garbage. That's all I need. You know, very simple. Storm Natural, yes. Today I started a little bit early. I just wanted to test an earlier time. I started 7:30 instead of 8. And I noticed that more people engage. Actually, we had a caller and an interesting conversation. Very revealing, very interesting. Storm Natural writes, I see your position much more clearly, although I might disagree. Storm Natural, even if we still not in agreement, I think that by the actual conversation that we are having is important, because the subject is interesting for any human being. We're not talking about cat videos or duck videos or, you know, TikTok videos are about people dancing, you know. Storm Natural writes, why are you constantly using feelings as a foundation? Because as long as we are human beings, you must operate under human fuel. And that is fuel. I could be wrong. That's why I'm having these conversations. But in order for you to wake up in the morning, you must feel something. Otherwise, you will not get off the bed. In order to have a partner, you must feel something for that person. Otherwise, you will not move towards that person. Same with a God. The God must offer some emotional reward. Otherwise, people will not move toward the God, because feelings precedes actions. So there is no way, Storm Natural, to talk about humanity without talking about feelings. It's like when a doctor talks about salt, that you're not supposed to be taking salt and salt and salt and salt, and they never mention water. They don't know what we're talking about. You always talk about water and you always talk about salt when it comes to a human being. You cannot talk about them separately. Same with feelings. You talk about human beings, you must talk about feelings. Someone talks about thoughts only and they never mention feeling, they don't know what they're talking about. Someone talks about actions and they don't mention anything about feelings, they don't know what they're talking about. Someone talks about a God and they don't mention feelings, then that person is a believer. Man, that was bad. But I think it's true. Storm Natural writes, some people have higher priorities than how they feel. Nope. Storm Natural, you're always welcome to prove me wrong. Okay? There's nothing, absolutely nothing more important in your life than how you feel right now. Nothing. No God, no family, no dog, no car, no job, nothing. What you're feeling right now is the most important thing in your life, because you could have all the things that I have mentioned and they will make no sense to your life just because how you feel. Storm Natural, I agree. Once conversations break down, society has major problems. 100% agree. Yes. Storm Natural writes, what about sociopath or mental health issues where people can't feel or have normal feelings like each other? Talk about feelings, yes. However, I don't think it's a solid foundation of understanding. I don't know if you have seen these documentaries about, assassinations, people killing other people, serial killers and stuff like that. Man, when they ask them, do you feel bad about killing someone else? No, it feels good. Do you ever want to get out of this jail? No, because I'm gonna kill again. There has to be something that runs in the human tank, in the fuel tank. There must be a feeling. Feeling is an energy that produces action. This is so important, Storm Natural, that if you take a pill, and that pill in 15 minutes for 10 minutes is going to neutralize whatever you are going to feel. You feel nothing. You were sitting down on a chair and you lay down on your bed and you're not moving. Why? Because you don't feel anything. So what happens at that moment? Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit come right in front of you. And they're like, hey, hey, Storm Natural, here we are. Here we are. Jesus is here. And you are like, you don't move a finger. You have no fuel in your tank. You cannot feel. Jesus makes no sense. You must feel something in your system in order to see God. We see through our feelings. This is a subject to be talked about. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. I don't hear people talking about this. This is of most importance. That's why I believe that when people say that God is real, what they are really saying is that God feels real. Storm Natural, do I believe in the soul? No, I'm not gonna make the mistake that come to the conclusion about something that I do not understand. I see that there's a possibility that we have a soul, but I don't close my mind to it. I want to understand where this soul comes from. If there's a soul, probably we're trying to explain our existence with a soul because it makes us feel bad that when we die, there's nothing after we die. So we want to connect something to when we die that is going to keep us alive. And then that's why we create like, no, we have a soul and God and the spirit. It might be just lights off and that's it. I don't know. I want to understand it. Storm Natural, that pill analogy sounds like that one Exorcist movie. The drugs they gave the girl enabled the demon to go wild. I believe that demon is it's a synonym with ignorance. Yeah, By ignorance, you can make people do things that they normally will not do. I learned that in church, man. I see people moving like snakes. I see people talking like, you know, all made up. Everything. Islam, man, you still there? Awesome. You mean you feel good with my dogma and that's enough? I don't feel good. Your dogma, your doctrine, your book does not offer any emotional rewards to me. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't offer anything for my life. And that's the reason why I'm not interested in Allah. There is no emotional benefits. Apparently, you are getting emotional rewards. It makes you feel good to be close to Allah. You know that Allah loves you and that makes you feel good and that gives you something good to think about when we pass on. You think that God is going to be loving you and waiting for you. I'm sorry, Allah is going to be waiting for you. And that makes you feel good. That Allah is real or not, it does not matter. Who cares? You feel good. Storm Natural, so where does morality come from in your view? Storm Natural, probably you heard me last time we talked. If monkeys can figure it out, we can figure it out ourselves. If I go around with my alcohol spray and I'm a person without morals, I'm going to be spraying people in their faces, in their eyes, and I'm going to laugh. I have no morals in their eyes, and they go, ah. And people are looking at me doing that, and they go get their own bottles with the little, thingy here, and they spray it on my face, and I go, man, that feels horrible. You know what? I never felt that thing on my eyes. I'm never grabbing this alcohol again and spraying on people's faces. Thank you. No God needed. I have thought. I can think. This thing is competing with the idea of a God. Shildo. Ah. What am I thinking? I was reading it correctly. Child of God. Come on, don't be shy. Storm Natural writes, so you're saying feelings are more important than truth? Yes. 100%. 100%. Forget about me proving it to you. You can prove it to yourself. It does not matter if God is real or not. It doesn't matter the truth. It's how you feel. Period. Go find an example. That truth is more important than feel. And please share with me because I could be wrong. Islam, your heart might lead you to the wrong way. Oh, someone is cracking. My heart might lead me to the wrong way. That means that your heart, Islam, can also lead you in the wrong way. You made a great point. Don Coyote. I like that name. No religions, God exist. Okay. I'll take notes. Storm Natural. Interesting view, my friend. Then why not justify doing evil if it feels good in your view? I have my alcohol again and I love it. It makes me feel good. It's fun to spray people in their eyes and they go, ah! And I think it's hilarious, man, when they start running and their eyes are burning because of the alcohol. I spray people around, and then this person comes around, grabs my alcohol, and spray it on my face. I start yelling in pain. I'm like, you know what? Ah, I I got a lesson from pain. Pain for us human is a better teacher than the God. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever felt extreme pain? You're not thinking about God in that moment. You are thinking about raw humanity. You know what I'm talking about, man. I have been in pain to the point of almost fainting. You're not thinking about anything else but just moving away from pain, man. No God at that moment. And that pain is a teacher that teaches you a lesson that you will never in your life forget. That includes emotional pains. You know what I'm talking about? You never forget the lesson. Don Coyote, I think aliens created us. Man, I have talked about this before and I will talk about it again. We might be in an intergalactic farm and we are being harvested. This is problematic. In my probably next live stream, on one of those live streams, I'm going to share something that is not fun. And I'm going to make a warning before I say it because, you know, could ruin your day about what possibly we're doing here on earth, which it doesn't make me happy, but it's a possibility. That's why I want to have these conversations with you, with smart people, with people with critical thinking. So natural, so you won't do harm or evil if there's a chance is reciprocated. If there were not retaliation, would you do it? Example, with the spray alcohol bottle, yes. Do you want me to lie? Or you want me to be honest? If I find a way to use people to work on my farm so I don't have to do it, and take advantage of a situation where they see it as beneficial enough for that people, but I see it as something bad. I don't care. They're doing something, they're getting something out of it. I can make an explanation in my mind and in my heart in order to do something that I know could be taken as wrong, but I'm still going to do it because of the benefits I'm getting. Because remember, we go by feel. I don't know if I explained myself on that one. Yes, we will do it. Is until I find myself in the same situation I'm putting other people, let's say, for example, in pain, is that probably I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. Because I have never feel or felt that pain and I need that lesson. Islam, right? I mean, you say you are comfortable in your dogma, and that is, it's not Islam. It's not that I am comfortable. Being honest and transparent about not seeing a God out there it does not make me happy. In honesty, there's no necessarily happiness. In being transparent is not a promise that is going to make you feel good. The only thing that really makes me feel good about letting go of the God of the Bible is that I don't have to be pretending anymore. That was a big weight on my shoulder. It always made me feel bad, especially when I was alone in my room. I'm like, man, I think this God thing is not real. So I am not happy that I don't have a God in my life, but I feel lighter. I don't have to be lying to myself and I don't have to pretend anymore. And I can ask questions and not feel bad about myself, feeling like a sinner. Alrighty, so it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. I broke all records. Just for you, just for me, because I enjoy doing this. Hey, Storm Natural, I'm doing this. You know why? Because it feels good to me. I'm taking an action based on something that I'm feeling right now. And that feel that I'm getting right now is also in part because of your input. So thank you very much for being here. You could be anywhere else on the internet and you are in this live stream. That's important to me. Remix, there's only two gods. You're wrong. There's only one God, Remix, and that is Chulum. Storm Natural writes, so if you have absolute power, you okay with justifying anything as long as it makes you feel good? The day that I have absolute power, I will be able to answer that question to you in a better way. Because I don't have absolute power. Last time I checked, I don't have absolute power. So I cannot answer that question honestly. That's when people in some debate, they ask me this trick question like, if God present himself to you, would you accept that he's God? I'm like, man, how about you ask me that question when God shows up, not if. Pow! They close the call right there, man. Storm Natural, option D should be other. What would you suggest? Storm Natural would be option D. Yeah, you suggesting there's another God? Yes, there is. I just put 3 because of the lack of space. Tony, D. All right, D, man, D. D. Illuminati. Proverbs 3-4. I want to have a big round of applause for Illuminati. You have just proved that you can read something in a book and put it on a chat. I would love to hear your opinion, your thoughts, not taking something from a book, copy, paste, and try to sound smart. It doesn't work here, man. Come on. You can do better than that, I'm sure. Storm Natural, for me, I appreciate hearing the truth despite how it makes me feel. Thanks for being honest. I have tough questions. I love your questions. Thank you. Thank you for asking these questions because they also make me think I could be wrong. I don't hold the truth, but it feels good. Keep you friends close and your enemies closer. Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. Yeah, there's some truth about that, man. Talking about truth. I appreciate the stream. There are many other religions. Storm Natural, thank you for being here. I'm out of here. I'm about to read Proverbs 33-4. Normally, I would read it also, but I'm out of here. I run out of batteries. So the poll before I close, Chulum wins. Man, before I close this live stream, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I got to make another live stream about this phenomenon of people choosing Chulum over the God of the Bible. And Allah, my friend from Islam, in the chat, in the live stream in the chat, you gotta get some friends here, man, and move some people here for the poll in favor of Allah. 56%, 34 votes. I never thought there was gonna be so many votes, and especially I never thought that Chulum was going to win this poll. Wow. Wow. All right. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. Have a nice one. Have a great night and a great day tomorrow. I'll be live streaming again tomorrow around 7:30. Thank you.